This is VOA News via remote. I'm Diane Roberts. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Sunday the United States expects President Joe Biden and Chinese leader Xi Jinping will have the opportunity to speak in the weeks ahead. However, when asked at a news conference in Thailand if Mr. Biden and Xi might hold a first face-to-face meeting on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Bali in November, Blinken said he could not say what might happen then. The U.S. calls China its main strategic rival and says high-level engagement is important to keeping the difficult relationship with Beijing stable and preventing it from veering inadvertently into conflict. Speaking to reporters, President Biden says those who are angered by the Supreme Court's ruling overturning the case making abortion legal need to make their voices heard.
Keep protesting, because keep making your point. It's critically important. We can do a lot of things, the rights of women in the meantime, but fundamentally, the only thing that's going to change this is if we have a national law that reinstates Roe v. Wade.
Israeli authorities in Jerusalem started preparations Sunday for the visit by President Biden. U.S. flags were being put up alongside Israeli flags and those of the municipality of Jerusalem. The president is set to arrive in Israel Wednesday for a three-day trip that will also include meetings with Palestinian officials in the occupied West Bank. The contest to replace British Prime Minister Boris Johnson keeps gathering pace. UK Foreign Minister Liz Truss Sunday announced her bid to succeed Johnson as Prime Minister and leader of the ruling Conservative Party. Johnson this week announced he would resign after the mishandling of a scandal prompted a raft of ministerial resignations. This is VOA News. Japan's ruling coalition is projected to have won the most votes in an election held just 2 days after the assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, national broadcaster NHK says. Sunday exit polls by NHK and other media showed Abe's governing Liberal Democratic Party was certain to secure a single majority of 125 seats, or half of the upper house, the less powerful of the two chambers. It's a major boost for Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who stands to rule without interruption until a scheduled election in 2025. Congo began voting Sunday in parliamentary and local elections, which will likely see the ruling party maintain its strong hold of the parliament's two chambers. Over 2,000 candidates are running for 151 assembly seats, according to the country's Directorate General of Electoral Affairs. The president's Congolese Labour Party is currently the largest in the 151-seat assembly. South African police say at least 15 people have been killed in a mass shooting at a tavern in the Johannesburg township of Soweto. AP correspondent Naomi Shannon reports.
It's believed that a group of men arrived in a minibus taxi and opened fire in the bar in Johannesburg Township. Many are said to be critically injured and have been taken to hospital. Police say the Soweto bar was licensed and that the attack happened during operational hours. Faith Mazibuko, member of the Gauteng Province Executive Council for Community Safety, says,
Gauteng provincial government were indeed saddened this morning that we have to wake up to a massacre of this nature.
This comes 2 weeks after 21 teenagers were found dead in a tavern in the city of East London. The cause of those deaths has not yet been announced by authorities. I'm Naomi Shannon.
More than 400 people, including tourists and truckers, were stranded Sunday by a fierce snowstorm in the Andes Mountains near the Argentina-Chile border, with temperatures plunging well below freezing, local officials said. On the Argentinian side, 120 people were rescued early in the day by police and military personnel, but another 200 remain stranded at an altitude of more than 3,000 meters. More than 200 people are also stranded on the Chilean side, a police officer told Chilean media. Recapping our top story, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Sunday the United States expects President Joe Biden and Chinese leader Xi Jinping will have the opportunity to speak in the weeks ahead. No word on whether there will be a first face-to-face meeting on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Bali in November. Via remote, I'm Diane Roberts, VOA News.